Up next for you, we're going to do something that a lot of big bands did back in the day. It is part of any program of the evening's entertainment. They would take a break from having the entire big band play a song and bring out a smaller group made up of some of their all-star musicians. Benny Goodman started with his trio and his quartet, and later with his sextet. Tommy Dorsey had the Clambake Seven. Count Basie had the Kansas City Six. Well, Artie Shaw, he had the Gramercy Five. And although, if I gotta be honest, my favorite will always be Benny Goodman. I have to say, if you buy that one disc compilation of all of the Gramercy Five tunes from the first and second Gramercy Fives from 1940 and 1944, it is hard to get a better, completely danceable CD straight through. It really is. Every single one of those tunes is something we dance to regularly. And here's a great example. This was a tune that Artie Shaw wrote in reaction to a suggestion by an A&R guy at the record company who said, "I'd really like you to record this song when the Swallows return to Capistrano." And Artie Shaw told him what to do with that. And so instead, he recorded this song. We're going to feature Keenan McKenzie, of course, Gord now on trumpet, and our rhythm section, Chris Dawson, Jen Hodge, and Josh Colazzo. We're going to have Chris switch over to the harpsichord. And this is Artie Shaw's reaction called "When the Quail Come Back to San Quentin." One, two, three, four. Artie Shaw's When the Quail come back to San Quentin. Well, that gives the band time to relax for a song, get ready. I have to say, the evenings here at Focus really fly by because we're already at the end of our first set tonight. But don't worry, we've got 2 more sets tonight and 3 more nights of music. So now that the band is rested up, we get to break out this one. This next song is a Cole Porter tune. And it was, it means someone from, my brain has gone completely blank. I very much apologize. This is someone from Rio de Janeiro. Yes, this is a tune called, you guys know it, you love it. Ladies and gentlemen, Artie Shaw's The Karaoke.
Lindy Focus, Jonathan Stalin and his orchestra and the music of Artie Shaw. And that is just set number 1. All right, we're going to turn it over to our DJ, Megan Gilmore. Keep dancing. You're hearing the sounds of Artie Shaw's Nightmare, the harmonic herald to some of the nation's finest dance music, Jonathan Stout and his orchestra, coming to you from the electric setting of the Lindy Focus Ballroom in Asheville, North Carolina. We hope you will join us for another set as Jonathan and his orchestra bring you the king of clarinets, Mr. Artie Shaw.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. That was Artie Shaw's Nightmare, featuring Keenan McKenzie on clarinet. Remember what I said about Artie Shaw being a bit of a difficult fellow? That was his theme song. You're not like a bright, sunny fellow if that's your theme song. That, of course, is the evocative minor key Nightmare. Right now, we're going to do an up-tempo number for you. This is something that would have been novel at the time. This is called Non-Stop Flight. That was Artie Shaw's Non-Stop Flight. You also heard from Albert Alva on that one on tenor saxophone. You know, that last song is a good example. You know, Artie Shaw, when it came to doling out the solos in his band, probably more than any other band leader that we've ever done here at Lindy Focus, he really featured himself most of all, and almost to the exclusion of others. And it's funny, like, one of the things about doing Lindy Focus is I can't think of another experience in life that would possibly lead me to these conclusions, because I sit there and I take all the charts, and as I'm doing the set list, I pass each one of them out to each chair. And I think about, like, we've got two just amazing trombone players, and I go, okay, well, I just gave Charlie a solo, so the next trombone solo I'm going to give to Luke, just so everybody gets a little bit of jazz. And it's like, the next song goes by, no trombone. The next song goes by, no trombone. The next song goes by. And it's because it's like it's all Artie all the time. And that's great if you're Artie Shaw, because you can pull that off. And it's great that we've got Keenan to do that, because there's some big shoes to fill. But there's one very, very, very notable exception to Artie Shaw's self-focus, shall we say. And that was when Roy Eldridge was in the band. And Roy Eldridge is one of the single greatest swing trumpet players that ever lived. He played with Krupa's band, Fletcher Henderson's band, and then for a brief period with Artie Shaw. And Artie Shaw respected him enough to have this song commissioned in his behalf. And Artie Shaw doesn't play a note on the whole record. It's just about Roy. And his nickname was Little Jazz. And ever since we've been doing these bandleader tribute nights here at Lindy Focus, we've been featuring our own Little Jazz on this number. And that's Mr. Gordon Howe. So we're going to feature Gordon on this next tune, and this is Artie Shaw's Little Jazz. Gordon now, ladies and gentlemen. All right, up next for you, here's a mid-40s tune by Artie Shaw, a little song called Jumpin' on the Merry-Go-Round. That was called Jumpin' on the Merry-Go-Round. We're going to do another kind of late era Shaw tune from 1945. This is something called Let's Walk. Now, I would say those last two numbers are a little bit more obscure than some of the stuff we're playing. So I think it's time we played something we all know and love. This is a chord progression that Artie Shaw used a lot of. It's sort of basically dig-a-dig-a-do. Man from Mars has a lot of similar touches. You can tell that the composition of this song and Man from Mars are a bit similar. But this is one of the things that the Gramercy 5 recorded in 1940. We're going to feature Jim Ziegler on trumpet, Keenan McKenzie, of course, on clarinet, and our rhythm section, Christopher Dawson on the harpsichord, Jen Hodge on bass, Josh Colazzo on drums, and myself, Jonathan Stout, on the electric guitar. And we play for you now Artie Shaw's Special Delivery Stomp. Special Delivery Stomp. And now Ms. Laura Windley joins us on stage. Let's try that again. Laura Windley joins us on stage, ladies and gentlemen. Now, one of the biggest surprises for me last year was how many compliments I got during the week about the version of Blue Skies that Laura sang. And I kept going, but we played Benny Goodman's Blue Skies, but Laura didn't sing that. So what on God's green earth are you talking about? And it kept happening again, and about 6 months later, it finally dawned on me. Moon ray, blue skies. I was like, oh, everyone loved this song. So here's the song that everybody loved from last year, but didn't know the name of. Laura Windley gives you Artie Shaw's Moon Ray. Laura Windley singing Moon Ray. You know, we've played quite a few lesser known Artie Shaw tunes, or tunes that were just recorded on live broadcast but were never recorded otherwise. But we'd be remiss to skip some of the most famous Artie Shaw numbers. This is by far his greatest selling song, and it was a hit on orders of magnitude bigger than anything else he ever did. And I'm sure it's something he probably wanted to get away from eventually. But it's something that and especially at an event like Focus, we can really dig into. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Artie Shaw's Begin the Begin. Peter McKenzie on Artie Shaw's Begin the Begin. We're going to do one more Gramercy 5 number for you this set. And we're going to have Mr. Gordon Howe join us on trumpet for this one. Of course, Keenan McKenzie, Christopher Dawson, Jen Hodge, Josh Colazzo, and myself. This is perhaps one of my absolute favorite songs to dance to. It's something that I almost always DJ anytime I have the chance. It's one of my absolute favorites. This is from 1940, and this is Artie Shaw's Gramercy 5 version of My Blue Heaven. Sometimes the band leader messes up. It happens. I promise. Artie Shaw's My Blue Heaven. Well, we got one more song for you left this set. I think this is a great one to go out on, but before we close it out, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for this band. On tenor saxophone, Albert Alva. On tenor and alto, give it up for Jonathan Doyle. On lead alto, give it up for Anita Thomas. On trombone, Mr. Charlie Halloran. And Mr. Lucian Cobb. On trumpet, Mr. Jim Ziegler. Mr. Gordon Au. And on lead trumpet, Mr. Ken McGee. On piano, the Prince of Keys, Mr. Christopher Dawson. On bass, Jen Hodge. On drums, of course, Josh Colazzo. Our featured vocalist, of course, Ms. Laura Windley. And on clarinet, Mr. Keenan McKenzie. Now, this next tune was one of Artie Shaw's big hits. And, you know, there would be reason enough for us to play it if it were just what he recorded. But this was featured in a soundie. And it's one of the very best documents of collegiate shag there is. And so I'll introduce it the way Artie Shaw did. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Jonathan Stout. This is my orchestra. This is the music of Artie Shaw. Here's a classic with a little bit of retouching. Lady Be Good. Jonathan Stout and his orchestra, and the music of Artie Shaw. Yeah! Don't worry, he's got another full set for you, another full set. It's one of our favorite times in all of Lindy Focus. It's Artie Shaw comeback time. For instance, a reporter remarked to Artie Shaw about the number of times he had been married. And he said, "You have no idea the people I didn't marry." Someone tried to get Artie Shaw to define his music. And he said, the word definition is based on the word finite, which would seem to indicate that once we've defined something, we don't need to think about it anymore. And the final Artie Shaw comeback, which apparently was done to the very person stated in this comment. Someone tried to compare him to Benny Goodman. He said,
Benny Goodman plays clarinet. I play music. And that is your Artie Shaw comeback time. We have a very few quick announcements. First off, All right, everyone, it's that time again. By the way, you did we have a little jam announcement. You did fantastic last night. At Lindy Focus, when we do our jams, we love to have a little space up here so that the band can see the dancers and the dancers can see the band and have that energy pass back and forth. And if you make the jam too small, it's kind of hard for people to weasel their way in, so just keep that in mind. But you did fantastic last night. Just keep it going. You know, just in case a jam might break out because I might have seen the set list. That's all. That's all I'm saying. All right, everyone. The third and final set of music from Artie Shaw, Jonathan Stout and his orchestra.
Welcome back. That was Artie Shaw's One Night Stand from 1939. We're going to slow it down just a little bit. This is something that we've been playing with the Jonathan Stout Orchestra since the very beginning. And it's a great Artie Shaw number. It's got a little bit of that tom-tom clarinet thing at the beginning. I don't think I've ever heard a version of this originally that doesn't have a little bit of a skip in it. So if you can find a version of this that doesn't have this little bit of like a thing where it just gets off for a second, let me know. You can Facebook me or email me, but I'm pretty sure the original just has this little bit of a skip in it. And so we're gonna not have that skip. How about that? This is a great little tune called Coming On. Artie Shaw's coming on. As I mentioned, Artie Shaw was a rather self-focused individual, and he wasn't necessarily one to take influences from others. But in 1938, both his band and Chick Webb's band were playing in Boston. And on one of Artie's nights off, he took his band to see Chick Webb. And he's so inspired by Chick Webb, and specifically the China cymbal that he was playing, that when they recorded this song, he told his drummer at the time, Cliff Lehman, to play 4 bars of that China symbol up top, which was a reference to Chick Webb. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to play for you this next song. This is, of course, named for a famous neighborhood in Boston. This is the Back Bay Shuffle. All right, that was Back Bay Shuffle. As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Miss Laura Windley. She's going to sing for a beautiful number. This is called Day In, Day Out. Laura Windley, ladies and gentlemen. So the other day, I had this realization. And it basically boils down to the fact that for the last 30 years, the Lindy Hop culture all across the world, their expectations are basically set by DJs. If you think about most of the dances that you go to, unless you happen to live in some very particular cities, you've probably danced to a DJ more often than you dance to a live band. And that's both great, but it also has some drawbacks. One of the things about dancing to DJs is you have all of recorded history to draw from, and you can play exactly the best songs, and not just the best songs in history, but the best songs specifically to Lindy Hop too. And if you were to listen to a broadcast recording from some ballroom somewhere of even the best swing bands, it wasn't as Lindy Hoppable consistently as what we expect now. And one of the things that also kind of blew my mind is we mostly danced to songs that were recorded in a studio. And that means that was a very particular take of that song, and that's not necessarily how they were played live. Now, I don't want to dance more than 3.5 minutes. And I think most of you don't really love dancing more than 3.5 minutes because that's what we're used to. And it's not like we live in a culture where you can end a dance in the middle of the song. That would be weird, right? So that's, for better or for worse, all of Lindy Hop culture is based in that kind of 3-minute song that we expect. We're going to do something for you now that was a broadcast recording. And this is a song that Artie Shaw also recorded, but he opened this one up a little bit. So there's going to be an extra minute or two in this song. Are you guys all willing to give us a little bit of a break and roll with it? All right. So this was recorded live in 1939, and this is called Everything is Jumpin'. Everything is jumping. I'm not gonna lie. In planning an Artie Shaw set list, pacing is kind of hard because there's so much stuff to fit in. And especially after that last number, I kind of want to relax, but that's not what's up next. So we're going to do this next one. It's a little tune called Dig-a-Dig-a-Doo. Give it up for Josh Colazzo on drums. For Lucian Cobb on bone, Albert Alv on tenor, and of course Keenan McKenzie. Well, all right, now we get to relax. Ms. Laura Windley has joined us. She's gonna sing us a beautiful song. If you just yell relax at somebody, it makes them relax, right? We're gonna do this great song. This is from 1939, a little tune called Comes Love. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Laura Windley. We're going to do one more Gramercy 5 tune for you. This is another one of my absolute all-time favorite things to DJ. It's again from 1940. This is a little tune called Cross Your Heart. Mr. Gordon now on trumpet, Keenan McKenzie on clarinet, Chris Dawson, Jen Hodge, Josh Colazzo, myself. Cross Your Heart. We have time for just one more song for you tonight. I know. But as I always seem to be telling you, ladies and gentlemen, we've got 3 more nights of music for you. And it's not like tonight is over. Greg Ruby, a great friend of mine, guitar player from Seattle, Washington, will be leading a tribute to the Argentine guitar player Oscar Alemán just after we're done. And of course, we've got Lunsford Night tomorrow. Something that would not possibly exist without this Lindy Focus thing that we're all a part of. And then we're going to follow it up with Chick Webb Night. Something that also wouldn't exist but for this Lindy Focus thing we're all so lucky to be a part of. And of course, we've got New Year's Eve. But ladies and gentlemen, give it up for this band. On tenor saxophone, Mr. Albert Alva. On tenor saxophone, alto saxophone, you heard him at the end of Comes Love. Give it up for Jonathan Doyle. On lead alto, probably the most thankless job in the whole sax section when it comes to Artie Shaw night, Anita Thomas, everybody. On trombones, Charlie Halloran. And Lucian Cobb. On trumpet, Mr. Jim Ziegler. Mr. Gordon Howe. And on lead trumpet, Ken McGee. On piano, Christopher Dawson. Oh, and harpsichord, of course. On bass, Jen Hodge. Our own Buddy Rich for the night, Mr. Josh Colazzo. Of course, our featured vocalist, Miss Laura Winley. And one more time, Mr. Keenan McKenzie! I've been lucky enough to introduce this song on almost every single big band gig I've done since 2004. Ladies and gentlemen, as I've told you before, you probably know what's coming. This is a song that was recorded live over the airwaves from a ballroom, and it was never commercially recorded. And this is not something that jazz history people write about. You know, the jazz people at the time didn't care about this song, but we care about this song. This song matters to us. It's something that the swing dance community discovered and put in heavy rotation, and it's something that we've made something special. And I think we're very lucky, because this would be just an artifact to history if not for what we've done with it and what we've managed to lift it up to be. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. My name is Jonathan Stout. This is my orchestra featuring Laura Winley, Keenan McKenzie. This has been the music of Artie Shaw. And here is Man from Mars.
Lindy Focus, Jonathan Stout and his orchestra, and the music of Artie Shaw. Give it to him. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. What was that? I think they would like another.
I have no idea what you're asking for. What is that?
Game of beer pong.
All right, ladies and gentlemen. I can take 1 minute since I have your attention. And I want to say thank you, and I've totally spaced on her name. I feel so bad. She posted that thread in the Lindy Focus community about etiquette. And I just want to say, Joey Kelly, thank you so much for that. So one of the things that might happen now is you might find yourself clapping during this next song. Spoiler alert, we're going to play another song for you. But you have a solemn responsibility because we're about to take on another 1,000 band members right now if you clap. So when you clap, stay on it. ¿Lo comprende, muchachos? Y muchachas? Okay, so if you're gonna clap, get on it. Oh, 2 and 4, please. Yes, that's a given. But you're way over there, and so if you're not clapping as hard and as on time as you possibly can and keeping up, it's going to be difficult for us. So you're going to make it easy for us, right? I mean, you guys are dancers. I suppose you probably do have some rhythm, right? I would think so. I would think you guys are probably in the top 0.1% of the best rhythm of people in the world. So ladies and gentlemen, we are going to play one more for you if that's okay. That's okay? I'm stalling ever so slightly because I just need to finish this before we do this. All right. I have to ease into this because it's, ladies and gentlemen, Artie Shaw's Traffic Jam.
Orchestra, Artie Shaw, Traffic Jam. All right, everybody. That's all we got for you tonight up here on the main bandstand. But don't worry, there's going to be some more incredible music at late night with Greg Ruby and his tribute to Oscar Elliman. And we have a performance at 1:15 over there in Crown, and we have the Bow Finals at 2:15. We still have food trucks outside right now as we